All right, it's Mixed to be here live from the MMB Radio studios for the MMB Radio Podcast, where no topic is too big or too small. We talk about them all. And on the phone lines right now, I have a woman who I'm very excited to be speaking with tonight. She is a Philly native. She's also a DJ, which obviously is, soft and sentimental to my heart. And she is a physical fitness trainer, model, guru. She can explain it a hell of a lot better than I can. We want to welcome in now Miss Lauren, Fit DJ. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me mix Masta, and thank you for that wonderful introduction.
No problem. Thank you for talking to us. And like I said, you have so many different titles. We don't even know where to start. But I guess first thing I acknowledged was that you are originally from Philly, right?
I am. I'm a Philly native, born and raised actually in the suburbs, about an hour outside of Philly, in Bucks County. And I decided to go to school in my hometown in Philly. I graduated from Temple University with a degree in broadcast journalism, and I interned at Fox 29, and, just loved Philly, just submersed myself in all the amazing opportunities that Philly has and all the incredible people that are there, and started training and fitness modeling and going up to New York and auditioning and just, got a taste of the business, and I loved the entertainment business. So I wanted more and moved to New York City and then came out to LA. So that's a little, that's the fast track version of it. A lot happened in between. But so here I am out here in LA in 2016 doing my thing.
So you grew up in Philadelphia, or in the suburbs in Bucks County. What was life like for you growing up?
Very just wonderful. I had such a wonderful childhood. I was really blessed, and it was just magical. Of living in the suburbs is very sheltered, and I guess at times maybe even a little boring. I always wanted to travel more and kind of was fascinated with the city because even though we were only an hour from the city, that just really wasn't part of my life, the city life. So, life was really good, but I grew up eating really healthy. My dad is a nutritionist, and he's a health food store owner. I actually grew up with pretty bad learning disabilities. So my childhood was magical at my home, in my home life, but in school, it was actually kind of a nightmare. I had a lot of anxiety about being in school, and, I didn't do well. I couldn't keep up with all my classmates, and it was apparent that something was wrong, but I didn't know that I had learning disabilities till I was about 9 years old, and they diagnosed me with dyslexia and ADHD, and they took me out of all of my, regular classes with my peers, and put me in the small room, the learning support room, and it was pretty traumatic, and I wasn't treated very well. I was punished a lot for not finishing my work, and the teachers would yell at me or even, sometimes kind of mock me, and it was just, I had a lot of animosity and frustration. I felt like nobody really understood me. Just my parents were the only people that really fought for me, and some of my friends. So, I also was not very athletic growing up either. I think as a result of my learning disabilities, that was something that the learning specialist actually advised me to stay away from, was organized sports and gym class. She kind of gave me the pass to sit on the sidelines because I wasn't coordinated enough. So when I was about 15 years old, or 14 years old, I decided to join an organized sport. I decided to run the mile in the gym class for the first time and actually try, and I did really good, and then it gave me the confidence to join the cross-country team. And then my dad, saw my interest. He took me to the gym every day, taught me how to lift and use the equipment, and then my coach taught me how to cross-train and use the weight training room as well. And then it built my self-confidence when I had none. And between the nutrition and the fitness, it completely transformed my mind, and therefore it completely transformed my life and my world as I knew it. And then, I went from being so negative and so sad to being such a happy, positive, confident person. And, you know, I would not be in LA. I wouldn't be, you know, in the industry and in fitness and DJing. I wouldn't be doing these things because I wouldn't have had the confidence to do them if it wasn't for finding fitness. So I'm really grateful to my dad and my family for supporting me the whole way through.
Now, you done, like I said, the fitness thing, and you got into it. Your father showed you how to use all the equipment. Like, if anybody hasn't seen this woman, if you Google her or check her out online, she is ripped.
Thank you.
Like, a lot of listeners, and we talked about this before we were doing the podcast, so one of the things I want to talk about is you mentioned about not always having confidence growing up and then finding that confidence. And a lot of the struggle people have, younger people, older people, people that are, you know, out of shape, somewhat out of shape, even people that are pretty much in good shape. What do you say to them when they're trying to find that confidence to start working out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's overwhelming, especially if you're somebody who's never worked out in your life. And that was me, really. I mean, I was a kid and I was, you know, spry. I've always been like a thin kid. I've always been, never had like a weight problem or anything. But even for me, you know, building up that endurance and, you know, my whole body was sore, like from head to toe the first time that I went running. And it was just something that you have to soldier through, and you have to keep going, and you can't stop. And you can start at any time. And you can take it slow. You can just take it one day at a time. But consistency is key, and your diet is key because, you know, you can work out every day of your life, but if you're eating crap and you're eating processed foods, you're never going to see the results. And then you're going to get discouraged. And then you're going to say, exercising doesn't work. Like Lauren was lying. But no, it is so much about your diet. What we put into our bodies is going to be reflected on the outside. You're going to see it in your skin. You're going to see it in your weight. So if you put the good things and you fuel your body with things that are from the earth, and then you work out, you move, you'll see the results. And you don't have to be on the treadmill, and you don't have to be on the Stairmaster. You don't even have to be in the gym. Like a lot of my workouts that I show, I have a YouTube channel. It's called youtube.com/pimpaniron. And a lot of the workouts that I do are just in-home, outside in the park. You can do them anywhere. Some workouts you don't even need equipment. The point is just move. The more you move, even if you just go for a walk, the more calories you burn and the better that you're going to feel mentally, even combating depression. That's so important that we get outside and we get some vitamin D and get the, you know, the adrenaline going. But for me, you know, as soon as I found fitness, I'm really glad because I was about 15 years old and I was a really late bloomer, and I had just hit puberty at that point. And I got made fun of for being a late bloomer. It was like terrible. Like I looked like I was in third grade till I was like 16 years old. But then I got hit with some bad acne, like really bad acne. So I don't know what I would have done if I had learning disabilities and the acne, and then I had nothing to channel that through. Like I would just be so miserable, and it just helped me to get through those tough times in my life, because we all have tough times and we all have ups and downs. And if I'm feeling sad, you know, I go for a walk, I go to the gym, I let it out in a positive way, and then I always end up feeling like 100% better when I'm done. So at least for the time being, and then you're able to rationally think things out and get out in a more constructive and positive way. So
now people may look at your photos and think, wow, like this woman has no flaws, no problem areas, but we all have them. What is something that you have trouble maintaining, whether it be, you know, like, do you have a vice? Do you have something that says, you know, I can't, you know, turn that away, or, you know?
Well, I love, I kind of have more of like a flexible diet. I don't have a really strict and, really strict diet. Like, yes, I eat really healthy. Like, I can't imagine eating something that's not from the earth. So even when I do cheat, I do love dessert. I love chocolate, but I've really gotten into like raw and vegan desserts because they're a lot better on my stomach when I do eat like Cheesecake Factory or things like that, which are totally delicious and I love. But like I don't feel good after that. Like my stomach hurts, and even the next morning I wake up, I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts. That wasn't worth it. So I just try to find healthy alternatives to desserts. So I've been doing a lot of raw and vegan stuff. There's this chocolate avocado pudding that I like to make, and it has 4 ingredients in them, and they're all natural, and that kind of stuff I love. But you know, it's cool. Like I have a boyfriend, and so he's not as strict as me. So like, you know, I'll have a little nibble of his burger here and there, and that stuff keeps me going. But the bottom line is, you know, I've just learned that when I eat good and I eat clean, I just feel better and I'm more productive. So that is kind of enough to turn me off from, you know, going on some kind of a crazy binge of, you know, processed foods. It just doesn't make me feel good, so I don't want to eat it.
Now, how did the whole DJ thing come about? I mean, obviously you're busy pumping iron, you know, going through all these changes as a child and a teenager. At what point did you say, I want to learn how to DJ?
Yeah, I grew up with music. I mean, that's one of my first memories is being in the car with my family and having a sing-along to the Beatles, like the song 8 Days a Week specifically. And for years, I thought that there was 8 days in a week because of that song. But I grew up listening to really good music because my parents were, you know, hippies, and my dad was in a band for years and years, and he plays a bunch of instruments, guitar, and he sings. So I just grew up in a musical household and liking real good music. And it was probably when I was like 18 years old, and I went to my first club in Philly. Maybe Shampoo. It might have been that Club Shampoo on Delaware Ave, I think. I saw a DJ. He was like in the middle of the room, and he was just lit up, and he was just, you know, curating the whole dance floor and the whole night. And I was like, that's the freaking coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, he has the control. He has all the power. And it probably stemmed from like me never feeling like I had control growing up, because I never really felt like I was good at anything because of my learning disabilities, and I didn't have a lot of confidence. So I was really drawn to that. And so that got in my brain. I was like, oh my God, DJing. And then I was like, but there's no girl DJs. And I was like, but that's exactly why I want to do it, because there's no girl DJs that I know of, and I want to take over, and I want to be a badass girl DJ. So it was a couple years after that. Like, it took a couple years for me to like meet the right people, and there was a lot of DJs in Philly who helped me out, like DJ Aiden Scott, shout out to him, Jonathan Silva. These guys took me under their wing and gave me lessons and shared their music with me, and it like blew my mind. It changed my life. I had to save up all this money to buy equipment. I started off with shitty equipment, and then I did some gigs, and I made more money, and I got better equipment. But it wasn't until I really moved to LA, though, about 4 years ago, that I started to get gigs like consistently. Like, as soon as I came here, that was like the first thing that took off. Like, somebody I knew somebody that owned a club, and they were like, hey, your friend DJs, like, bring her in. And then all of a sudden I'm DJing at the Hudson in LA, and that's a pretty big place to start out. And then it's kind of a snowball effect, and I just kept taking lessons, and DJ AM is one of my greatest influences. So I go back and I watch his videos and listen to his mixes. I love DJ Chachi and DJ Panic City and all these guys. I just listen to their mixes endlessly over and over again, and I just kept practicing, and then it turned into my own business, where I came up with the name Fit DJ, and now I combined it with my fitness career, and I DJ all these fitness related events, and I'm took it out of the club and put it into a more positive environment that's more conducive to what I do. And I still do club gigs, and I still do private events and stuff like that, but I really love mixing it with fitness, because fitness and music go hand in hand. If I have a good song going or a good mix going, I pump that much harder at the gym. I can go that much longer. I can go that much further. So, that's kind of how it all happened.
Now, you also have some of these mixes available on iTunes. Am I right with that? I
do. Yeah, I have a podcast. It's called Fit DJ's Flex Factory.
Okay, kind of tell us what that is.
And, so I created mixes that you can work out with. Some are half an hour, some are an hour long. Some are themed. Like I have one up. It's a WWE inspired mix because I spent some time with Jake the Snake Roberts and Scott Hall and Diamond Dallas Page. My boyfriend, he makes documentary films, and he produced a film that they were in. It's called The Resurrection of Jake the Snake, and it was actually at Sundance and Slam Dance film festivals of last year. So I actually lived in the house with Jake and Scott Hall and all the guys that were working on the film for like 2.5 weeks and got to know them and, gained a lot of respect for them. And before I knew it, I was talking like a wrestler and, using all the lingo and talking about gimmicks and marks and all kinds of, shit like that. And it was really fun. So anyway, I made a mix because I grew up, watching WWF and WWE and kind of wanted to pay homage to all the wrestlers because they're awesome.
Now, you mentioned that documentary. Actually, I saw that they had a premiere of it out here in Philly not too long ago, a couple months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had like a screening of it, and Jake Roberts was out here, and DDP was out here, and so they had a screening of it out here, and it's an awesome documentary. If anybody has not seen it, it takes you through the whole life of Jake Roberts and the ups and downs of his life. So anyway, you do have these mixes on there, so everybody can go download this WWE theme type.
Yep.
One. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a listen to that. So a couple things I wanted to note because. Again, you are from Philly, and one of the things, I didn't know you were from Philly originally, and I saw you, wearing your Phillies hat while you're DJing, and I'm like, okay, she's either got to be from Philly because very rarely do you see someone wearing Phillies outside of Philly.
I know, right? Like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you set yourself up for that, So were you big into sports growing up?
I mean, I remember, the World Series, what was it, 94 or something? Like the Phillies were in the World Series, or was it 93? I forget. But I remember that made a huge impact, such a huge impact that I can't remember the year. But
we try to black that out. All I can remember is Joe Carter hitting a home run, and I kind of just blur it all out, when we lost. So.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I think, my dad, you gravitate towards the sports that your parents like or your dad likes. And my dad's he's a big Flyers fan. He likes the Phillies, but he's huge into the Flyers. So, I'm kind of like, yeah, Flyers. I think, I'm really intrigued by football, although I'll admit, I don't fully understand it, but I think it's badass. If I was a guy, I think I would want to play some football. I think it's really cool, although very dangerous and a little brutal. But of course I support all my my Philadelphia teams fully, and I'd never cheat on them.
Now, we also mentioned prior to the podcast, it's we want to talk about cheesesteaks. How does someone,
of course,
first off, how does someone being so fit able to eat a cheesesteak? Are you one of these people that doesn't eat the roll, or my father won't eat the roll when he eats a cheesesteak? It's just no,
it's a good move. I mean, save it's carbs. It's carbs, so it just turns to sugar. But a little carbs here and there is not too bad. But I kind of do the same thing. Sometimes I'll just eat the meat out of it.
That's a violation, though. How can you have a cheesesteak and not eat the roll?
I agree. To fully enjoy the full thing, you gotta eat the roll, and you gotta have some ketchup on it, and onions and cheese and all that good stuff. But I don't know. I feel like I can kind of this is probably I shouldn't say this, but I kind of feel like I can enjoy a good cheesesteak anywhere. They all kind of taste the same to me. Although between Hats and Geno's and all the ones in Philly. I'd have to say Jim's was the most appealing to me on South Street. I'm not sure if it's still there. It's been years since I've been there. But I actually thought at the time that was really good. But, yeah, I mean, cheesesteaks are delicious, man. Like, holy crap. Like, they're good. I'm not going to deny that. They're good.
Now, I also saw on your Twitter page it has that you're a celebrity DJ, like, trainer and everything. Do you currently train people, too, or do you not have time to really train people?
I do. I mean, on a kind of like just on a like exclusive basis, you know, sometimes I'll have a friend of mine, you know, say that they have a celebrity friend coming into town and, you know, they want a female trainer or, you know, they want whatever. They want a trainer that does what I do, that specializes in the kind of training that I do. And I'm like, cool, sure, go ahead. I'll give you my number and I'll train them, you know, short term. But there's a few clients that I have that I train consistently, but mostly I've been focusing on, you know, DJing, and I'm a sponsored athlete, and, you know, I've been traveling a lot and working on my YouTube channel. I get hired to do fitness videos, so those things keep me busy, and I have some other projects coming up that I can't talk about because I signed non-disclosure agreements, you know. But, yeah, you know, there's these things that I've, you can only do so much. That's the thing. It's like I have all these interests and all these passions, but I kind of learned to narrow it down over the past, like, 2 years because I'm like, I'm just spreading myself too thin, and you're never going to get anything done if you do that. So, like, okay, I got to focus on 2 things right now and, you know, just do that.
Well, like I said, we appreciate you talking to us a little bit. I know you got a lot of projects that you can't talk to us about yet, but people can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, and let everybody know where they can find you at online.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LaurenFitDJ. My YouTube channel is called Pimp and Iron, youtube.com/pimpandIron. My website, if you want information on me or you want to book me, I do come back to Philly a couple times a year. It's www.laurenfitdj.com. And then also I want to make a shout out to my sponsor, Earth Foods in Central Bucks County, which is our family health food store. It's earthfoods.us, and you can stop in there. It's on 202 in Hollytown, Pennsylvania. Shout out to them, and shout out to DynaPro, my other sponsor.
We're looking through the Instagram, and we saw that you were DJing outside of the store one day. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Outside of what? Outside of Earth Foods?
Yeah, outside. You
Yeah.
You and your dad DJing outside there. That's kind of cool. I mean, you don't have to worry about hiring somebody. You got an in-house DJ.
It was really cool. My dad totally loved it. He's like my number one fan. It's so cute. So, yeah, we had fun, and we were handing out some Quest bars, and, you know, it was a good old time.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have a lot more fans after this podcast today. I know I'm a huge fan now of your work. And go out there and download her mixes. Check out her YouTube channel. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Twitter. Just submerge yourself with Lauren Fit DJ. Anything you want the fans to know before you leave?
Just thank you. Like, anybody that follows me, like, I'm just shocked that I have any followers. Honestly, like, I really appreciate it. And sometimes people say such nice things to me, make really nice comments, and it, like, melts my heart. Like, I'm over here, like, crying because I'm like, oh, my God, that's so sweet. Like, to be able to touch anyone's life in a positive way is such a pleasure and such a, I'm just, like, that it means so much to me. So I don't even have the words, but I appreciate anybody that follows me, and I appreciate you so much for having me on the show, and you're a real sweetheart, and you're awesome. So keep doing what you're doing, Mix Master B.
Not a problem. Thank you for talking to us. We'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
All right. Bye. Hey, everyone. This is Lauren Fit DJ, and you're listening to Mix Master B on MMB Radio.